I just wanted to take a moment to go over example 5 just in case you need some extra help on this one because this could be a confusing one just because of the way the notation is written. So let me show you what we're dealing with here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a new text box over here. And we're just going to do example 5 together right here. Originally, I wasn't going to go through this one. I was just going to have you look at it on your own because it's really not that hard of a problem. But there is one thing about this one that could be difficult, and that is the fact that we're using subscripts in this problem. And I'm not sure that you've seen subscripts like this before. So we have py equals 1.04. That's like 104%, okay, times py minus 1. But the y and the y minus 1 aren't just a regular y and y minus 1. They are subscripts. Anytime you see a letter that is a subscript, a tiny letter that's below the main line where the actual variable is, you can tell that p is the variable. Y as a subscript just acts as like a descriptor of the variable. It's part of the variable. Py is a variable. Py minus 1 is another variable. You don't do any mathematical operations on a subscript. It's not like when you have a superscript. Like if I were to take this y and put it up like here, now I am raising p to the y power, and that's a mathematical operation. When it's down here, though, all I'm saying is that there's a specific type of p that we're looking at. This is p in year y. And the other p is p in year y minus 1. So it's two separate variables. The reason we use subscripts is because it allows us to use the same letter as the variable, but we make them different variables because they're related to each other. Py minus 1 is just p, whatever p is, the year before, 1 year before the current year. So what this is saying is if I have an investment, a savings account investment that increases at 4% per year, to get the value of my principal, the amount in my account this year, PY this year, I need to take 1.04 or 104% and multiply it times whatever principal I had in the account last year. Does that make sense? So PY is a different number from PY minus 1. They're kind of related because P minus 1 was whatever last year's principal was, and PY is this year's principal. But you don't actually do any math with the subscripts. It's just telling you that these are different variables. I hope that makes sense. So let's go ahead and figure out the solution to this. I'm told that after 6 years, there was a principal balance of $1,450. What's the principal balance after 8 years? Okay, so what I would need to do here is I need to figure out what the if I know the principal balance the 6th year, I need to step it up and figure out what the principal balance the 8th year would be. So let's go ahead and plug in my principal balance the 6th year. So P sub 6, that's the specific year. Notice I'm going to use that as a subscript. It's not doing any math to P. It's just saying which P I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with P in year 6. All right. And then it's going to be 1.04. And let me just think. That would be okay. Hold on. Let's see. P6 is going to go here. Okay, so I know the principal in year 6. This is going to be the principal in year 7 is going to be 1.04 times the principal in year 6. And let's go ahead and do that math. So P7 equals 1.04 P6. That means the principal in year 7 is going to equal 1.04 times, and then what was my principal? $1,450. I'm just going to write it out like that. Okay, I didn't put the cents in, although there might be cents after I do the actual multiplication. So now I find that P7 actually, once I've done the math here, equals 1.04 times 1,450 is $1,508. Okay, but that's not what I'm asked. I'm asked what the principal after year 8 is going to be. So I need to use this one more time using this as my new principal balance, right? So what I'm going to do now, P8 is what I'm looking for. the principal in year 8 is going to equal the principal in year 7 times 104%. And now I know the principal in year 7, which I found from using the principal in year 6. So all I'm doing with this subscripted equation is running it again and again and again until I get the year that I'm looking for. I had to run it twice to get to year 8. So here I'm going to do 1.04 times P7. The previous year, what was the previous year? It was 1,508. And then I find that $1,508 times 1.04. This one does have cents on it. So P8 equals, and let me just make that a subscript so we know it's not actually multiplying anything there. P8 is $1,568.32 when I do the math there. So that's a subscripted equation. I just wanted to show you that what the subscripts do. The subscripts tell you which variable you're dealing with. In this case, it was telling you what year the principal was. The subscripts themselves aren't mathematical operations like we would see with a superscript when we're raising something to a power, but it is telling us which variable we're dealing with so we can figure out what to plug in into our equation, and it helps us understand what we're getting out of our equation as well.